many years ago, Joey Stern and I were at New York Comic Con, and we felt that there wasn't really any queer presence there, and we knew that there was a kind of a community waiting to happen, but they didn't really seem to have a central meeting point or any kind of organization. So we took it upon ourselves to do that and started working towards having a LGBT booth at the next year's New York Comic Con.
Geeks Out was formed. We did a fundraiser and to be able to pay for a booth at New York Comic Con. And this past October was our 5th year, and it's great. We've grown every year. Every year, New York Comic Con is more and more successful for us in terms of the people that we reach, the response that we get. We had a great Comic Con after party that was very successful. And it all led up to us starting our very first, and New York's very first queer Comic-Con called FlameCon.
What is FlameCon? FlameCon is New York's first queer Comic-Con, and we're about to go into year 2. It's basically the biggest queer arts event in New York City, and it showcases hundreds of different artists. We have lots of really fun, interesting personalities and celebrities in queer culture that are going to be there, and we're there this first year. People had a fantastic time. There were performances and demos and really interesting talks and panels and interviews, and it was a giant fiery whirlwind of activity and fun.
So Geeks Out, our mission has always been to rally, empower, promote, and increase the visibility of the LGBTQ community in geek culture. We have endeavored to do that by our presence at conventions across the country, by having a place, an outlet for people.
Like, honestly, I feel like a lot of us kind of came out twice as geeks. You know, as pop culture changed this last like 10 years, like suddenly it's much cooler to be a geek. It's much cooler to be into these campy things that are kind of youth oriented but have been co-opted by kind of brought up to adult tastes.
We've grown into a nonprofit, a national nonprofit with groups that are doing activities in Chicago, in DC, Portland, Oregon. We've had events in Boston and Orlando, Florida, sort of all over the country, in Texas. We have an online community where we have bloggers that are providing content daily. We have a lot of great writers and content providers who are creating a lot of that are providing a voice that wasn't necessarily there before.
And so if Geeks Out can be a presence in these cities, in towns, and online too, where people can realize that not only are you not alone as a queer person, you're not alone in the fact that you're a total dork for comics. And I think it's a very substantial way for people to find connections with each other.